I use my locals as a benchmark to see roughly where I'm currently at in skill and try to beat those locals. Hello, I'm Zintex, and as a top 100 Osu player, I like to share how I improved at the game and get to the skill level I'm at today. Before I begin, first off, if you're looking for general advice that covers a wide range of aspects of improvement, please watch this video by Zava. It's really good, really easy to understand. I'll link it in the description below. Secondly, I'll be talking about the main things that's worked for me. A lot of what I'm saying is based on my experience playing the game, but may also not work for you. This is just to bring something I think is a bit more new and personal to the improvement guide discussion. Another note is that I didn't actually focus on these things when playing the game, but they were just habits that I noticed in my playstyle that led me to get better. Despite that, I think that if I did start over again, I would do these exact things. A lot of players load up the game with some kind of expectation in mind. Mostly something like gaining PP or setting a score they really want. They try again to meet these goals throughout the session, but to no avail. They end up having an unproductive session with absolutely zero improvement. So one of the first things I did was just to drop the ego. As one of the points discussed in Zava's video, mentality/mindset, particularly ego, is something you need to be aware of when trying to improve. The sooner you realize that you won't always be playing at your peak, or you won't set the scores that you want when you want it, the faster you'll be able to play for improvement rather than rushing scores. In my experience, I didn't have to worry about this kind of thing because I was actually restricted from September 2021 to August 2022. And with no meaning in PP or any kind of number or metric to tunnel vision on, I was able to play freely and solely for fun. Having built the right mindset, this leads me to my second point where progress is much more visible. When people ask me what I did to improve, one of the first things that I say is to submit your damn plays. But be careful, this doesn't mean to play through and retry mindlessly, because your locals are important and act as benchmarks for you to work off of. It's a pretty trivial thing, but I was also guilty of playing many maps and then just quitting because I didn't like how the run was going. But how was I supposed to know if I do well on the rest of the map? How do I know if I'm even doing good on that map if I don't have a local to interpret? So to really gauge my skill, my main goal every session was to submit new, meaningful local. Meaningful being that I played the map with effort, and I tried my best to beat those locals. This was for a long time and still is my main method of improvement. It doesn't matter whether you're gapped by an old local because the primary focus is to see where you are at this point in time. If I have more recent locals that I set with effort, then I most likely will be focusing on those ones rather than my top local. That's the most reliable way I'll be able to visualize how I perform in the game to me. Now I have a vague baseline of where my skill lies, and then I can try to improve from there. I can try to improve from my last local's combo, accuracy, or miscount if I need to focus on them individually, but I subconsciously try to beat all three at the same time when I'm playing the game. So when I go into a map, I basically have a mixed mindset of play it through and beat your local, and that's what I think helped me to improve particularly my consistency a lot. So yeah, that's basically all about my playstyle that led me to get better at the game. The reason I wanted to make this video is because I haven't seen people talk about this kind of perspective on improvement. So I wanted to share that with you all because it really did help me a lot. As a final reminder, this is not me telling you this is the way to improve, just as the way I did it. Mindset is truly the key. To end the video, I'll give a visual demonstration of how a typical Osu session would go for me. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm on Osu, I'm just hopping on, I'm just playing, normal Osu session, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is, I guess I'll find a really hard map to warm up on first, but we're not gonna do that. We'll look for a map that I have. Alright, so this map. So I already have a bunch of locals on him prior from just, playing through and learning the map or whatever. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna play the map. Okay, maybe this was not the best example. Okay, well, I mean, okay, I wasn't supposed to do this. Okay, next map. Like, okay, this one. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play through the map. So yeah, right now, these are my, like, no mod scores. Oh, these two as well. So what I'm looking for is, combo, accuracy, and miscount. So basically, that's how I'm gonna compare my scores. So I'm just gonna play through, and try to beat my locals so far. It's a beautiful act, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, not a bad run. So you can see that it's like this score is basically nothing compared to my top local, but that's basically the point. I'm not supposed to be worrying about my top local. I say beat your locals, not your top local, okay? So basically what I can take away from this score is that I'm doing really well. Like compared to my previous plays that I've set, mainly, I'm doing really good. So from this point onwards, for improvement, I will just try to improve from this score, because this is the most recent score. This is like the most reliable way of gauging my skill, and I'm gonna do this with, like, I do this with all the maps basically. I do this with a lot of maps. How many's like this, okay, maybe not that, this, a lot. Like, I'm always jumping back to these maps at different times to see, like, I did this well in, you know, 2 months ago. How well I'm gonna do now? If I set this score, alright, that's pretty good. And then I'm gonna try to beat this score. And so forth. This is now my most recent score. Well, not really recent anymore, it's been a couple weeks. So what I'll do is I'll just play through it again. Get a new recent score and try to beat that. And over time, I'll build that consistency and build all my skills back up. All of this comes together, like, okay, maybe not this. Submit your locals, and you gotta use them as benchmarks. Okay, your locals are your most reliable way of seeing, like, how well you can perform. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. And yeah, I don't know what else I was supposed to say, but basically it.